Imagine this, you wake up inside a BL novel as the villain. 3 years from now, the main character is going to kill you. Sounds bad, it gets worse. The beautiful Omega crying in your room right now. He's your future murderer. The system gives you one mission. Mark him, so what do? You refuse, and just like that, the story goes completely off the rails.
Noah suddenly snapped awake. A cold breeze carried an unfamiliar scent into his nose. He instinctively sat up, but froze the moment he saw what was beside him in bed. A striking young man was curled up next to him. His skin flushed with an unnatural redness, eyes rimmed with tears, and long fingers tightly gripping the hem of Noah's shirt like someone clinging to a lifeline. "Please." The young man's voice was ragged, trembling with emotion, softly pleading, "Help me." Noah's breath caught slightly. A strange mechanical sound echoed in his mind. "Welcome to the book crossing system. System No. 1022 is at your service wholeheartedly. Player Noah's account has been activated. You have entered the novel accidental mark. Identity linked. Antagonist Alpha, Noah. Score, 100 points. Main character of the novel, Oliver. Current story milestone, accidental marking. Mission: win over the main character and increase their trust to points. Friendly reminder: 5 years from now, Oliver will end your life." The mechanical voice spoke coldly. Noah lowered his gaze, watching the young man's body trembling slightly from uncontrolled pheromones, a furrow forming slowly between his handsome brows. "First tell me," his voice was deep, carrying an innate intensity, but unexpectedly calm, "why are you going to kill me in the future?" The young man seemed not to have heard clearly. Instinctively moving closer into his embrace, his breathing uneven, Noah reached out and firmly held the young man's shoulders, his grip controlled yet unyielding, repeating once more, "Oliver." "Right. Tell me why you're going to kill me?" The young man slowly lifted his gaze, his eyes shimmering with tears, filled with confusion and pain. The system flashed messages rapidly. "Warning. Pheromone peak is approaching. Please complete the marking immediately. Otherwise, this mission fails and points will be deducted." Noah simply ignored the system's frantic alerts. He kept one hand steady on the Omega beside him, while quickly reviewing the original story provided by the system. 10 minutes later, he closed the virtual interface and quietly spoke 2 words: "Deserved." In the original story, he treated others as toys, imprisoned them, caused harm, ruined their careers, and indirectly led to the death of Oliver's parents, eventually being killed by a vengeful Oliver. System nearly collapsed. Player: please mark the main character immediately. This is a pivotal moment in the plot. Otherwise, points will be deducted. Noah said calmly. "I refuse." System host: this is a crucial moment in the story. Are you sure you don't want to mark him? If you don't, the quest won't be completed. Noah asked indifferently. "What will happen if I don't complete it?" System 1022? You'll lose points. If you reach 0 points, you'll be erased from the novel world. You only have 100 points now. If Oliver still hasn't been marked after dawn, you'll be directly deducted 50 points. This book is called Accidental Marking. The entire story unfolds because of this accidental mark. How can you progress with the main character without marking him? And how will Oliver's feelings toward you grow if you don't mark him? Noah said flatly. I can handle it. System sank into a quiet pause, clearly frustrated. When James arrived, he saw Noah had wrapped Oliver up like a robe-wrapped mummy, and couldn't help but mutter an expletive under his breath. After the injection was given, Oliver finally calmed down and fell into sleep. The system alert rang out sharply. Main quest failed. Points deducted. Remaining points. The next morning, Oliver woke up from his fever. There were no signs of any violation on his body. He froze for a moment, instinctively glancing to the side. Noah sat on the sofa nearby, wearing a dark shirt, and bent over some documents. Hearing the movement, he looked up, his voice calm. You're awake. How do you feel? Oliver's face went pale in an instant, then quickly flushed red. He pulled the blanket tightly around himself, his voice trembling. Mr. Noah, last night, did we? Nothing happened. Noah closed his laptop. I had the doctor give you a suppressant. Oliver swallowed hard. Speaking carefully, Mr. Noah. I honestly don't know what happened last night.
Maybe someone slipped a trigger agent into my food,
Which caused my pheromones to suddenly go wild. Noah looked up at him. Was it Zhao Wengsu? Oliver knew it was likely the agent behind this, but he had no proof. Besides, Zhao Wengsu was his agent after all. Even if he said so, Mr. Noah might not believe him, and could, instead, think Oliver had been colluding with the agent all along. After all, the artist and the agent were in the same boat. If the boat capsized, neither of them would benefit. This situation is hard to explain, and it mainly depends on Mr. Noah's attitude. If he doesn't mind, everything can be settled easily. But if he feels offended, Oliver and his agent might both be in serious trouble. Oliver took a deep breath and nervously looked at Noah, saying, I'm not sure who it was either. Without evidence.
Of course he didn't dare to make random accusations.
I'll look into this matter thoroughly. Noah paused for a moment and then asked, Isn't your film academy about to have the final exams soon? Oliver nodded and said, Yes. The final exams are next week, Noah said. First, focus on preparing for your exams and go back to wait for the company's notice. Oliver was stunned. Wait for the notice. Was it a notice of termination of the contract? Could Mr. Noah really think he used underhanded tactics to get close to the boss and is about to kick him out of the company? The alpha in front of him had an unfathomable attitude, and Oliver had absolutely no idea. He couldn't help but wonder if Mr. Noah really kicked him out of Tangshuan. Could he still sign with another company? Or would Mr. Noah go all the way and shut him out from the entire entertainment industry, leaving him with no options? If that happened, would he ever have a chance to act again? Just after getting into film school, this kind of thing happened. He felt utterly helpless. No one would believe in his innocence, especially since so many people in the entertainment world rely on behind-the-scenes deals to get ahead. If this got out,
He would immediately be disgraced.
would his father get sick from anger if he found out? The words "wait for the notice" were like sending him to the execution ground with a knife to his neck, and he could only leave it to fate. Oliver's mind was in a complete mess, buzzing. But what he didn't realize was, in Noah's mind, a striking line appeared in front of him on the system panel. Oliver's affection level toward you.
Noah raised an eyebrow and looked up at the young man in front of him.
The favorability was still at 0 points last night, but today, it has actually been deducted to a negative number. Was it because he was too serious and scared him? Noah thought that a favorability rating of 0 points was already the lowest. However, within less than half an hour after Oliver woke up, his favorability rating towards Noah had dropped to -10 points because he failed to complete the marked task. His player score was deducted by points all at once. The calm decision last night made the plot completely deviate. If this was a dating simulation game, then he had chosen a very difficult start. It was really troublesome not to do tasks with the system. When opening other options again, some familiar novel character names appeared in the list. James, affection level / current relationship status, friend. Kinrong, affection level / current relationship, friend.
Samuel, affection level / current relationship, someone admired from a distance.
Luke Xuan, affection level / current relationship, rival in romance.
Zhang Fan, affection level / current relationship, personal assistant.
Zhao Wenxiu, affection level / current relationship, subordinate. Lu Rui, affection level / current relationship, driver. Many question marks below are all ununlocked materials. Noah calmly sorted out the character relationship network in the book. Oliver, the main character of this story, was once deeply devoted but suffered constant disrespect and mistreatment from Noah. Later he underwent a transformation and took action against Samuel and Noah. But now, Oliver hasn't been marked or subjected to harm or abuse.
So his personality still reflects the original traits set in the story's beginning.
His parents are alive and well, and he comes from a happy family. He is cheerful and kind-hearted, straightforward and sincere. As a year-old newcomer to film school with no acting experience, his greatest dream is to become a good actor. Mutual spiritual recognition was the key to making someone's favorability towards you reach the full score. The young man in front of him was like an uncarved piece of jade. Noah decided to ignore the golden finger in the original book and personally train Oliver from the seedling stage. He has helped many stars become popular in the real world. Not to mention that Oliver is a very promising newcomer. Make Oliver extremely popular and have a smooth career in the entertainment industry. There's no need to use so many plot conveniences. With him around, it's enough. So Noah whispered, "Don't tell anyone about last night. This could affect your reputation. Do you understand?" Oliver came to his senses and nodded gently. "I understand." Noah turned to leave, handing the bedroom over to Oliver. "You have 30 minutes. I'll wait for you downstairs in half an hour. You can take a shower in the bathroom." There are fresh toiletries and a towel waiting for you. Oliver had sweated a lot last night and had a high fever all day today. Not only was he covered in sweat, but his hair was also stuck together. It was really uncomfortable not to take a shower. Seeing Noah turn around and go out, Oliver quickly put on the bathrobe, carefully ran to the bedroom door and peeked outside. After confirming that Noah had really gone downstairs, he let out a sigh of relief and rushed into the bathroom to take a shower. Noah went to the second-floor cloakroom. This villa was a birthday gift from the original owner's mother when he turned 20. Located by the riverbank in the western suburbs. It's a 3-story standalone house with luxurious decor. The entire second floor had been converted into a wardrobe room, clearly showing that the original owner paid close attention to his appearance. However,
His fashion sense differed significantly from Noah's. There were many brightly colored clothes hanging in the closet.
and the shoes were all vivid, trendy styles. Noah frowned and rummaged through the closet for a long time before finding a set of more decent gray sweaters and black trousers to change into. For shoes, he chose the leather shoes he usually liked to wear. Looking at himself in the full-length mirror, this face was exactly the same as his own. Maybe when the system generated the world in the book, it directly copied Noah's facial features to create another Noah. This would make it easier for him to adapt to the identity quickly. Otherwise, seeing a completely strange person in the mirror would easily make him lose focus. After changing his clothes, Noah pulled open the curtain and looked out of the window. Sure enough, just as described in the novel, it snowed heavily the day after Oliver was marked. He found a coat from the closet and put it on, thinking that Oliver was wearing thin clothes. He picked out a thicker down jacket and took it with him. Half an hour later, Noah returned to the bedroom. Oliver had already finished washing and was fully dressed. The young man's brows were slightly furrowed, as if troubled. Noah stepped closer and saw him sitting on the edge of the bed, using his phone to chat on WeChat with someone. Someone who turned out to be his agent. "Lgbtqlove, Oliver, where are you? I looked for you for a long time after the annual party last night, but couldn't find you. I've been calling you today, but you haven't answered. What on earth happened? Call me back as soon as you see this message, and let me know you're safe."
Zhao Wengxiu kept a completely clean slate.
Playing the part of someone entirely unaware, Oliver looked extremely conflicted, and obviously didn't know how to reply. Hearing footsteps, Oliver looked up and locked eyes with Noah, instantly scrambling to hide his phone. To his surprise, Noah spoke first. "How do you plan to respond to Zhao Wengxiu's message?" Oliver's heart skipped a beat.
He always felt that the alpha in front of him seemed to see through everything with his deep gaze.
He took a deep breath and said bravely, "The agent asked me where I am. I don't know if I should tell him."
Noah suggested in a low voice.
"Just say you're at your parents' house. As long as he doesn't mention what happened last night, neither should you." Oliver didn't know how to reply. Hearing this, he replied as Mr. Noah instructed. "Brother Zhao, I'm very sorry. I accidentally set my phone to silent. I'm at my parents' house. I'll contact you tomorrow.
Zhao Wengxiu was puzzled. How was Oliver at his parents' house? Didn't he send him to Mr.
Noah's place last night. Could it be that Mr.
Noah sent Oliver home after marking him?
He couldn't just ask directly, as that would leave evidence that he knew about this matter.
Zhao Wengxiu pretended to care about Oliver and sent a calm voice message. It's fine. Just rest at home for a few days and focus on preparing for your final exams.
I'll try to secure some resources for you. Let me reach out when there's any progress. And Oliver felt complicated and replied with a simple "Oh."
Okay?
Seeing that he had ended the conversation, Noah casually picked up the car keys and took Oliver to the basement garage of the villa. Just as he was about to get in the car, his phone suddenly rang.
The caller ID showed 2 characters. Kaianshu.
Noah answered the phone in a cold tone. What's the matter?
Samuel seemed taken aback. Noah had never spoken to him with such coldness before.
After a brief silence, he spoke gently. Noah, I'm leaving for abroad with Luke Xuan in a few days.
I'd like to have dinner with everyone tonight.
Can you come? System prompt. Quest task. Meet Samuel. Yes or no? Noah asked in his mind, how many points will be deducted if I don't meet him? System prompt. Deduct 5 points. Noah simply said, I'm busy tonight and can't come. Have a good time among you. After saying that, he hung up the phone. This was the first time Noah hung up his phone so straightforwardly, and it was still under his active invitation. Samuel was a bit confused, thinking the other person must have accidentally pressed the wrong button. After hesitating for a moment,
He sent another message to Noah. Noah,
are you feeling unwell? I heard there was a company event at Tiangshuan Entertainment last night. Did you drink too much and end up with an upset stomach? Where are you? Should I bring over some soup? Noah looked at the message popping up on his phone expressionlessly.
Samuel really knows how to play the game. No wonder Pei was completely devoted to him in the original story.
The Fard 5, believing he was the most gentle and kind-hearted Omega in the world. But if you think about it clearly, it should be obvious, despite already being engaged to Luke Xuan, he still shows special care for another alpha friend, frequently preparing soup privately and delivering it right to their doorstep.
Maintaining a relationship full of subtle tension.
Isn't this the typical green tea that netizens talk about? Noah had been navigating the entertainment industry for years, having seen all kinds of people. Samuel's tactics were nothing more than beginner-level tricks in his eyes, completely unimpressive. Noah typed a reply, no need to trouble. I'm not at home. Samuel's interest in you dropped. Rejected the meeting task. Player's score has decreased by 5. System. 1022 gloated in his head. Are you going to go further and further on the path of getting points deducted? Noah said. There isn't much difference between deducting 50 points and 55 points. I don't want to see him for now. I have other plans. The system asked curiously. What plans? Noah didn't answer. Oliver noticed that Mr. Noah was standing beside the car with a very cold expression. So he said softly, Mr. Noah, you should be very busy, right?
I can just take a taxi back by myself. Don't trouble yourself. Noah came back to his senses, opened the passenger seat door, and said, "It's not easy to take a taxi here. I'll drive you." Facing the man's deep gaze, Oliver had no choice but to obediently sit in the passenger seat and fasten his seat belt. When Noah drove the car out of the garage, there was already a thick layer of snow on the ground. It was almost dark, under the illumination of the warm-colored street lights. The goose feather-like heavy snow was falling rustlingly from the sky, and the whole world was almost covered by the white snow.
This is the first snow since winter began.
A glint of excitement flashed in Oliver's eyes, and he tilted his head to admire the snowscape outside the window. Noah turned on the heater, glanced at him, and asked in a low voice, "Where do you live?" Oliver quickly opened the map on his phone. His parents' place is 15 kilometers away from here, and the school is 10 kilometers away. It's not too far to drive. However, Mr. Noah is driving a very expensive luxury car. If he takes him home, it'll be hard for him to explain it to his parents. And if he takes him to school, it'll attract strange looks from his classmates. After thinking for a while, Oliver gave Noah an address. "Mr. Noah, please drop me off near Kingtang Street. I'll turn on the navigation." Kingtang Community is where Oliver's parents live. Noah didn't ask any more questions and drove onto the elevated road. The car was very quiet. To avoid embarrassment, Oliver kept turning his head to look out of the window. And Noah also didn't say a word. Half an hour later, the car reached Kingtang Street, and Noah pulled over and stopped the car. Oliver obviously let out a sigh of relief, turned back, and politely said, "Thank you, Mr. Noah." He unbuckled his seatbelt and was just about to get out of the car when Noah suddenly took a down jacket from the back seat and handed it to him. "It's snowing outside, and the weather is very cold. Take this coat with you." Oliver was stunned for a moment and looked back at the other person in disbelief. Noah stuffed the coat into his arms, put it on. "You took a strong-acting inhibitor last night and just got over the fever today. Your body's immunity is relatively weak. It'll be very troublesome if you catch a cold from the cold." The man's expression brooked no refusal, so Oliver had no choice but to take the coat and put it on. He opened the car door, and a gust of cold wind mixed with snowflakes blew towards him. Oliver shivered and sneezed. There still seemed to be the smell of Noah's pheromones on the black coat. Oliver was enveloped in the alpha's scent and wasn't quite used to it at first. But after putting on the thick down jacket, the warmth gradually welling up on his body also made his heart warm. Mr. Noah really thought things through. This coat is truly a timely help in the snow. Oliver's favorability towards you has increased by 5. Oliver wrapped the coat tightly around himself and bowed to Noah in the car. "Thank you, Mr. Noah." "I'm sorry to have troubled you," Noah said. "It's okay. I still have some company matters to deal with. Don't let your mind wander. Go back and wait for my call." Oliver nodded seriously. "Okay. Goodbye, Mr. Noah." Noah drove away. Oliver watched as the black car disappeared at the end of the street.
A sense of doubt welled up in his heart. Last night, he lost control of his body and clung to Mr. Noah,
kissing him with hands and feet.
Instead of blaming him, Mr. Noah sent him home and even gave him a coat for fear that he would catch a cold. Really don't know what Mr. Noah is thinking. Oliver had only recently signed with Tiangshuan, so he didn't really know much about the young boss. He'd heard plenty of rumors from others. People said Noah had been spoiled by his parents since childhood, took over the company, but hardly paid attention to it, and spent most of his time hanging out with a group of wealthy friends at bars and parties. Proman. The real decision-making power lay with Vice President Kui. Noah was just a figurehead boss, showing up at the office so rarely that his visits could be counted on one hand. Oliver always thought that he and Noah were from two different worlds and would never have any intersection. He didn't really care when he heard the gossips about him. And, unexpectedly, he was framed on their first meeting, and his pheromones got out of control, and he ended up in Mr. Noah's bed. According to the rumors, a playboy like Noah would never miss a free offer. Sleeping with an unmarked Omega wasn't a loss. But the fact was that Mr. Noah didn't touch him last night. Instead, he calmly gave him an inhibitor. Is it because his pheromone doesn't smell good, and Mr. Noah isn't interested in him? Or is the rumor wrong? And Noah isn't the playboy everyone says he is. Oliver stood at the crossroads, looking blank, while driving. Some numbers flashed through Noah's mind again. Oliver's mind is quite active.
Don't know what else he has associated.
And his favorability keeps fluctuating. After a moment, Oliver's original favorability of 10 was fixed at 10. Negative turned into positive. It seems that the result of Oliver's wild imagination this time is not bad. Noah curled his lips slightly and suddenly thought that this Oliver was much cuter than the paper-like character in the original book. He didn't really care about Oliver's current impression of him. A crawly. He hadn't explained many things clearly, so it was no wonder that Oliver was overthinking. Cultivating Oliver is a long-term process. A little bit of favorability doesn't matter. When Oliver really understands his good intentions, his favorability will increase significantly. It's time to start his plan. Noah didn't attend the dinner gathering organized by Samuel. Instead, he turned around at the intersection and headed toward the Pei family residence. Samuel's cleverness was mostly focused on romance, posing little real threat to Noah. The person who truly posed a danger to Noah was the one who would quietly seize control of Tiangshuan later, while Noah was deeply involved in emotions. Although the author brushed over this matter briefly, the story's world continued to unfold on its own. There must have been underlying issues within Tiangshuan, and whoever took control didn't do so overnight. It was a carefully planned move. The ultimate winner at Tiangshuan was Kuizong, Kuiju, an old veteran personally promoted by Noah's father. After Oliver returned home, Noah relentlessly pursued him without regard for the company. Meanwhile, Father Lucas was hospitalized due to worsening health, and Vice President Kue seized the opportunity to acquire shares
firmly securing control over Tiangshuan's leadership. Later, Pei Sr. passed away. The company fell into Qiju's hands. Samuel died in a car accident, and Noah himself was fatally injured by Oliver. Noah's fate in the original story truly was tragic. Of course, the tragic ending was his own fault, and not worthy of sympathy. Now that Noah had become the villain in the original story, he needed to act early to prevent Tiangshuan from falling into the wrong hands. Only by doing so could he truly protect Oliver in the complicated world of entertainment. His father was still the chairman of Tiangshuan Group, and while he still held influence, Noah planned to put his own strategies into motion. When Noah got home,
His mother was watching TV in the living room.
seeing him push the door and enter the hall, the well-maintained woman immediately greeted him with a beaming smile and said, "Noah,
Why did you think of coming home today? You didn't even give me a heads up in advance."
Mom could have prepared some food for you. Her name is Lu Manjing, an Omega from a wealthy family, raised in sheltered comfort, with no experience of hardship. She married Father Lucas after a strategic alliance with the Pei family. His father held her in the palm of his hand, and she doted on her two sons extremely. In kindergarten, Noah deliberately bullied a beta child and broke the child's head. Instead of scolding her son,
She used her connections to expel the child seriously injured by Noah from the kindergarten.
There were many similar incidents. In Lu Manjing's eyes, her son was always right, and it was precisely this unconditional indulgence that had left the original Noah emotionally stunted despite being years old.
Noah was transmigrated halfway and doesn't have deep feelings for this mother. Since he has taken the place of her son,
He still has to maintain the mother-son relationship on the surface. Hearing this, Noah replied, "Mom, I've had my meal. Is Dad at home?" Lu Manjing spoke gently.
he's in the study upstairs.
"Do you need something from him?"
Noah nodded and said,
"Yes, Mom. You can continue watching TV. I'll talk to Dad about something." He came to the study on the second floor and knocked on the door. "Come in." Lucas had assumed it was his wife bringing fruit, but to his surprise, the one who walked through the door turned out to be his eldest son. Lucas immediately frowned, his expression clearly displeased. "What do you want?"
This son was carefree and often hung out with a group of wealthy young men,
spending about days a year drinking outside, rarely coming home, and showing no interest in the company. Lucas was deeply disappointed. Every time he saw him, it made his head ache with frustration. Noah walked to the sofa and sat down. "I have something to discuss with you, Father," Lucas said impatiently. "Is it about Samuel again? Give up that idea. Samuel and Luke Xuan are already engaged. There's more than one Omega in the world. I'm not going to beg the Lu family to call off the wedding just for you." Noah quietly said, "This has nothing to do with Samuel." Lucas stared at him. "What's going on? Did you get into trouble again?" In his eyes, Noah is an unfilial son. There has never been any good news when he comes to him. No wonder he is so annoyed with his son, Noah said calmly. "I hope you, as the chairman,
can call a general meeting of shareholders.
Lucas looked at his son in surprise.
A shareholders' meeting. What do you have in mind? I have some reform proposals that need to be approved by a vote at the shareholders' meeting.
Noah said calmly.
The current management system at Tiangshuan was established over 10 years ago and has become quite disorganized. Talent levels among artists vary widely,
And the agent team is especially mixed. Over time, this will inevitably lead to problems.
This is the first time his son has talked to him seriously about the company's affairs.
Lucas was momentarily stunned, unsure how to respond. Noah opened the laptop. He brought with him in front of him.
I've sorted out some plans today.
You can take a look first. If you think they are feasible, I hope you can support me at the general meeting of shareholders. All day long, Noah took care of Oliver in the bedroom while going through company documents and quickly drafted a few proposals. Not having run an entertainment company for 8 years in the real world, he immediately spotted numerous issues within Tiangshuan Entertainment and came up with some targeted improvement ideas. First, deal with the chairman. The other restless senior executives can be dealt with slowly later. Lucas glanced at the proposals on his son's laptop with skepticism, growing increasingly stunned as he read through them. He couldn't believe that his so-called careless and unmotivated son had managed to pinpoint so many critical issues with such accuracy. Lucas frowned and asked, "Where did you get this proposal?" Noah looked calm. "I used to be a disappointment to you. It's understandable that you don't believe me now, but don't you even want to give me a chance to try? Don't you hope that I can get on the right track?" Lucas's heart skipped a beat before. Whenever the company was mentioned, his son had always looked annoyed, but today he was unusually serious. Maybe his son had truly grown up and finally realized something important. As long as he focused on work, Lucas would be more than happy to welcome it. Thinking this, Lucas simply said, "All right, I'll give you this chance. I'll inform all the shareholders to meet at the company tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Whether you can convince them is entirely up to you." Noah nodded, stood up and said, "Father, go to bed early. I'll go back to the company first. There is still some information I haven't finished reading."
Lucas widened his eyes, so serious.
Actually going back to the office to work late.
Has the sun risen in the west? Has his son really come to his senses?
Noah drove back to the company and took the exclusive elevator to the top floor president's office. The office on the top floor of Tiangshuan is very spacious, covering nearly square meters. In addition to a desk, bookshelves, and a comfortable sofa, there's also a small private suite with a bathroom and bedroom, allowing someone to stay overnight at work if needed. Noah sat down in front of the desk and asked in his mind, "Is the system there?"
After he refused 2 consecutive tasks,
The system had left Noah alone and was dozing off sleepily. Hearing the call, it suddenly woke up and said, "Yes, what's up?" Noah asked. "Since I've come to the world in the book, what will happen to me in the original world?" System 1022. Of course. You in the original world is still in a coma. You can understand it as a parallel existing space.
What happens here won't affect the other world. Noah thought thoughtfully. That means, no matter how long I stay here, time in the original world will still stay on the night when I got drunk. As long as I complete the task and go back, I in the original world can wake up.
System 1022. Yes.
But you can't stay here forever. The timeline of the novel, Unexpected Marking, spans 5 years, so the maximum time limit for you to gain the favor of Oliver in the book world is also 5 years. If the player's points are deducted to 0, or if you haven't completed the task when the time is up, your consciousness will be erased, and Noah in the original world won't be able to wake up either.
Noah nodded and said,
I understand. You can rest. He has 5 years to gain 100 favorability points. Otherwise, he will completely die in both worlds.
Noah gently pinched the space between his eyebrows.
If he hadn't experienced it himself, he really wouldn't have believed that such a strange thing could happen to him. That night, he looked up information until very late and simply slept in the company. Early the next morning, Noah got up at 7 on the dot. After washing up, he changed into a suit hanging in the closet next door, tied his tie in front of the mirror, and went downstairs for breakfast.
When he returned to the company after breakfast,
the employees were also arriving at work, one after another. Someone with sharp eyes recognized Noah and stared at the man striding towards the elevator in disbelief. In the company's gossip group, the news spread immediately. Mr. Noah seems to have come to the company so early. It's only 7:30, right? Are you sure you didn't misread?
someone simply sent a photo of Noah and said,
I didn't misread. It's really Mr. No. In the photo, the man is tall, wearing a dark gray suit, and there is no expression on his handsome profile. The company's gossip group immediately erupted. What on earth is he doing coming to the company suddenly? He doesn't look too good. Is something wrong, Mr. Noah rarely comes to the company on weekdays, and he's wearing a suit today. Something's not right. Zhao Wengsu clutched his phone, feeling a chill run down his spine as an avalanche of messages popped up in the gossip group. Mr. Noah specifically asked to see him. Could it be that he was angry about what happened last night? As the scheduled time was fast approaching, Zhao Wengsu had no choice but to gather his courage and walk into the company. Assistant Zhang Fan was also shaken early that morning, having arrived at the office at 7:30 to prepare in advance. He was met with a pair of intense eyes. As he stepped inside, his hand trembled, nearly dropping his coffee, and he stammered in disbelief. Hey, Mr. Noah, you're here so early. Noah casually grunted and Zhang Fan felt uneasy, staring at the man seated at the desk. He couldn't shake the feeling that Noah today was radiating a completely different presence, something intense and unlike his usual self. Maybe it was the suit, but the alpha before him now carried an air of quiet authority, making it hard to look straight into his eyes. It was as if he were a completely different person from the laid-back Noah everyone knew. Zhang Fan asked nervously. Have you had breakfast? Should I go downstairs to get something for you? Noah said. I've had it. Go to the monitoring center and copy all the surveillance footage from the night before last. Zhang Fan paused briefly, then immediately did as instructed. After a while, he brought a laptop and handed the copied surveillance footage to Noah. Noah opened the video, fast-forwarded it, and roughly skimmed through the surveillance footage. It was exactly 8 o'clock when Noah said without looking up, "Bring Zhao Wenxiu in." As Zhang Fan stepped out, Zhao Wenxiu was pacing anxiously in the upper floor hallway. Seeing him, he immediately approached and asked, "Mr. Noah, what's this all about? Please, just tell me something, Mr. Assistant." Zhang Fan gave a faint smile and shook his head. "I don't know either, Mr.
Noah seems off today. Be careful what you do."
A chill ran through Zhao Wenxiu's mind.
He took a deep breath, clenched his fists by his sides, adjusted his expression, and then walked into the president's office. Noah's gaze had been fixed on the laptop screen. When Zhao Wenxiu entered the room, he suddenly looked up and glanced at him, asking in a calm tone, "Are you Zhao Wenxiu?" The man's eyes were deep, and his gaze was extremely calm. Zhao Wenxiu felt uneasy under his gaze, and forced a smile. "Yes, Mr. Noah. How may I assist you?" Noah rotated the laptop degrees,
Placing the video footage of Zhao Wenxiu secretly adding a substance to a drink and then delivering it to Oliver on his desk.
He spoke calmly. "After last night's company event, an Omega's pheromone suddenly became unstable and appeared in my bedroom. Was that you?" He had prepared a whole bunch of lines, but didn't even have a chance to say a single one. Noah actually just threw the surveillance footage in his face. Noah preferred to resolve issues quickly and directly. He never let a conversation drag on beyond 10 minutes when it could be settled in that time. He didn't want to waste his time on Zhao Wenxiu,
Which is why he immediately showed him the surveillance footage.
Oh. The investigation wasn't complicated at all.
Zhao Wenxiu wasn't a professional criminal and didn't have strong counter-surveillance skills.
The event hall's security cameras confirmed he handed the drink to Oliver during the company party. Footage from the underground parking lot after the event, along with the car's dashcam, proved that he and driver Lu Rui carried an unconscious Oliver into the vehicle together. Zhao Wenxiu went pale when he saw the video. He had originally planned to pretend ignorance, and if Mr. Noah asked, he'd claim Oliver had come on his own. But once Noah dropped the footage in front of him, that plan completely fell apart. Zhao Wenxiu quickly thought of a way to recover and immediately tried to defend himself. "Mr. Noah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have used such underhanded tactics to bring an entertainer into your room. But it's not entirely my fault. It was all Oliver's idea." Noah squinted slightly and asked, "Really?" Zhao Wenxiu spoke rapidly, saying, "Oliver has always admired you. He bought an arousal enhancer from a hospital and secretly gave it to me, asking me to add the substance to his juice and send him to your room." Noah didn't want to listen to his nonsense and directly interrupted him. "I just looked up the information last night. The pheromone release agent is a controlled drug. It can only be purchased with the personal signatures of the Omega and his partner. Buying it privately and forging the purchase certificate is an illegal act. If it causes serious consequences, one will even be sentenced to prison. Tell me again, which hospital did Oliver buy the release agent from? Mr. Noah actually knew even this? Zhao Wengsu felt even more unsettled, his eyes avoiding contact, clearly unable to keep up the lie.
Noah stared coldly into his eyes and said,
How about going to the police station and letting the police conduct an investigation in person? Zhao Wengsu's legs went weak, nearly causing him to drop to his knees. Using a pheromone release agent on an Omega without permission and forcing them to be marked against their will is, indeed, illegal. If this were reported to the police, not only would Zhao Wengxiu and Liu Rui face detention, but even the doctor friend who secretly helped him obtain the product could lose his medical license.
I contend.
Seeing that Mr. Noah was serious, Zhao Wengxiu's face turned pale in an instant. He took a deep breath, clenching his fist tightly at his side, and spoke with a trembling voice. Pay, Mr. Noah. I truly regret my actions. Please don't call the police. I was just momentarily blinded by obsession. I only wanted to draw your attention to Oliver, and I did it for my own artist to get more opportunities. Noah frowned and asked, For Oliver's sake, did you ask for his opinion? Zhao Wengxiu's expression grew even darker. Noah spoke with a stern face. Fortunately, my friend arrived that night and administered the inhibitor in time, so nothing irreversible happened. Since you're an old employee of Tiangshuan, I'll refrain from involving law enforcement. Sending you to jail wouldn't benefit Tiangshuan's reputation either. But if this gets out, I'll keep the surveillance footage on file. You know what that means. Noah didn't want Zhao Wengxiu to actually go to jail. If he did, Oliver, the victim, would be summoned by the police. And the truth about Oliver being in Mr. Noah's room would become public knowledge. Settling this privately without spreading the matter further is clearly the best way forward. Zhao Wengxiu finally understood Mr. Noah's meaning and quickly nodded with visible fear. Thank you, Mr. Noah. You're truly above petty grudges. I promise. I won't say a word to anyone. He had just started to relax when Noah suddenly changed tone. Go settle your salary at finance later. You're no longer needed here. Also, tell your cousin Liu Rui that I don't need someone like him as my driver. Zhao Wengxiu realized Mr. Noah was firing both of them, immediately rushing forward, grabbing the edge of the desk with both hands and pleading through red-rimmed eyes. Mr. Noah, I've been with Tiangshuan for years. I beg you, give me another chance? Noah looked at him coldly. Go back and write a resignation letter and leave according to the normal resignation procedures. If I don't receive your resignation letter before getting off work today, I'll ask the personnel department to fire you on the grounds of bad conduct. You decide for yourself. Noah was actually serious. Zhao Wengxiu nearly clenched his teeth so hard they ached. Unspoken rules are very common in the industry. Even if Oliver didn't suit his taste, he didn't have to go to such extremes.
Right. Why did he just run into a tough opponent? Zhao Wengxiu's favor toward you has dropped by points. It seems that Oliver is quite gentle.
Reducing the favorability bit by bit?
Zhao Wengxiu immediately deducted 100. He opened the system menu and, sure enough, saw that Zhao Wengxiu's affection level had dropped to, and their current relationship had changed from subordinate to hostile. Noah didn't mind this change. People with evil intentions will cause endless troubles if they stay by your side. It's better to cut through the mess quickly.
Zhao Wengxiu stepped out of the office with heavy eyes,
utterly shocked at being let go from Tiangshuan. Dazed and disoriented, he opened the elevator door, nearly colliding head-on with someone. She was a tall, slender woman wearing high heels and a long coat, walking with a confident stride. Upon seeing Zhao Wengxiu, she paused for a moment, then smiled and greeted him. Old Zhao. It's been ages. Zhao Wengxiu was in a low mood and gave a casual reply. You're back at work then? Yes. I'm here to report to the boss. Her name was Emma, a decisive beta agent who joined Tiangshuan in the same year as Zhao Wengxiu. The artists she managed it earlier hadn't gained much attention, and after taking maternity leave for half a year,
Zhao Wengxiu had nearly forgotten she existed.
The two simply greeted each other at the elevator door and passed by each other. Emma was very confused.
After her vacation ended,
she had already reported to the personnel department. She hadn't had much contact with the new boss, Mr. Noah. Why did Assistant Zhang suddenly ask her to come to the president's office today? Emma walked into the office and greeted with a smile. Mr. Noah? Did you call me? Pei Shayaz was looking at a stack of documents. When he saw her come in, he put the documents down and asked in a low voice, Miss Zhu, you transferred all the artists you were in charge of to other agents because of your maternity leave. You don't have any artists under your charge now, right? Emma was stunned. She didn't expect Mr. Noah to know about her situation. Meeting the man's gaze,
she immediately nodded and said, Yes.
Mr. Noah. I just came back to work a few days ago and am still waiting for a notice from the artist department. Don't wait anymore. I'll assign an artist to you. You'll be in charge of him from now on. Noah pushed a stack of documents in front of Emma. His name is Oliver. He's a new artist the company just signed. Emma was extremely surprised and uncertain. Her fingers that took the documents were a bit stiff. Noah said,
There will be some changes coming up at Tiangshuan soon.
You can take a look at Oliver's file first. But don't rush to get involved with him yet. I'll make sure everything is arranged for Oliver to work under your guidance. Do you understand? Emma was full of questions. What did it mean to assign a new artist to her? Oliver. She had never heard of him, but she didn't dare to openly oppose the boss's decision. Even if this boss was considered a good-for-nothing by her colleagues. She still respectfully nodded and said, I understand, Mr. Noah. As soon as she left the office, the head of the agent department knocked on the office door. Assistant Zhang Fan was as busy as a spinning top. Mr. Noah had consecutive meetings with 6 people this morning, First, he met with Agent Zhao Wangxiu, then Agent Emma, who had just returned from maternity leave, followed by Department Head Chen Lu of the agency team, Finance Director Lu Qiang, Copyright Department Head Zhu Jianan, and Legal Affairs Department Head Zhu Qian. When Zhang Fan led them into the office, everyone looked puzzled. After all, this was the first time Noah had received these mid-level managers. The office door was shut tight, and no one knew what Mr. Noah had said to them.
Zhang Fan only saw that none of the managers looked happy when they came out. Could it be that Mr.
Noah was in a bad mood this morning and reprimanded the team leaders?
Just as Zhang Fan was wondering, Noah stepped out of the office. It was exactly 9:30. Zhang Fan hurried forward, hearing the man say in a low voice, "Zhou Zhang, go to conference room and get ready. Make sure the projector is working properly. There's an important meeting at a.m. today." An important meeting? Zhang Fan quickly took the access card. Noah handed him and said, "Got it, Mr. Noah." Noah turned around and walked towards the chairman's office. Lucas was brewing tea in the office when Noah knocked on the door, and at that moment, he turned his gaze toward his son. Today, the son was dressed in a neat suit. The shirt was neatly ironed, and the tie was properly tied. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. With this change of clothes and Noah being handsome in the first place, he finally looked a bit like a senior executive of the company. Lucas said with a satisfied tone,
It seems you're serious this time. Are you ready for what you'll say later?
Noah looked calm. "Father, don't worry. I'll find a way to persuade them." The meeting was set for 1:00.
The company's shareholders began arriving one by one,
their expressions filled with curiosity as they whispered among themselves.
Why did Director Pei suddenly call a meeting?
Not sure. At exactly 10:00, all the shareholders were present. The meeting room door opened on time, and Lucas walked in calmly with Noah by his side. Lucas, who was in his 50s with gray hair, but still full of energy, led the way. The shareholders all knew Mr. Pei well. But when they saw Noah following behind him, everyone was taken aback.
Noah looked quite presentable today.
They almost didn't recognize him. At the first executive meeting after Noah took over as CEO of Tiangshuan, the young alpha was casually slouched in his chair, repeatedly fidgeting with a pen out of impatience,
Barely paying attention to department reports.
and even yawned at one point, leaving shareholders and executives completely unimpressed. But today, he was dressed in a neat suit, walked with a straight and upright posture, and had a serious look on his face. He was completely different from the old Noah! After Lucas took his seat at the head of the table, Noah naturally sat down in the empty chair to his father's left and opened his laptop. "Everyone's here. Let's get started," Lucas said firmly. "Today I've called this meeting because Noah has some ideas he'd like to share and discuss with all of us. He's still young, so we'll need to review his proposals carefully to see if they're practical." President Pei got straight to the point, then nodded toward his son, signaling that he could begin. Noah stood up and connected his laptop to the projector in the conference room. On the enlarged high-definition projection screen, a PowerPoint presentation with a simple style was presented in front of everyone. He actually made a PPT for the speech. Was he stimulated by something? It's not that the shareholders don't believe Noah. After all, the original Noah left everyone with the impression of being a good-for-nothing rich second generation with only a good-looking appearance, squandering money recklessly because of his wealthy family, indulging in a life of pleasure and idleness all day long, and being a typical negative example. He often got into fights when he was at school and never passed any exams. Lucas knew his son wasn't cut out for serious responsibility, so he gave up on the idea of him taking the national college entrance exam and sent him abroad to study at a private university. Noah graduated at and returned home, where Lucas took him under his wing to gain hands-on experience as an assistant in the company over the next 3 years. After being diagnosed with early-stage stomach cancer and needing surgery, Lucas decided to retire early and handed the CEO position over to his year-old son. Since the young man lacked experience and might ruin the company if given too much power, Noah was formally named president of Tianxuan Group, but in reality, the key decisions were still controlled by 2 vice presidents, and Yang Mingwei. Major resolutions required their approval before being finalized. Now that Vice President Kui's plan to seize power hasn't started yet. It's time for this useless heir to step forward. Noah glanced across the room, speaking quietly, "Good morning, everyone. I've recently taken a close look at Tianxuan Group's management style and identified some areas that could use improvement. I also came up with several reform ideas, and today I'd like to share them with you, all for discussion." He stood beside the projection screen and pressed the laser pointer. The PPT flipped to the next page, showing a clear table. Artists at Tianxuan Group are directly managed by their individual agents, which often leads to situations where stars leave the company with their agents to start independent ventures. Excessive agent authority can result in unfair treatment of new talents they dislike, making it easy for potential to be overlooked. This chart outlines the number of celebrities and agents who have left Tianxuan over the past decade. The shareholders, who had just moments before looked skeptical, noticed that Noah spoke with calm confidence and clear logic. The presentation included a wealth of data. From the chart, it was immediately obvious how severe Tianxuan's talent drain had become over recent years. Without realizing it, the shareholders were drawn in, raising their heads to listen intently to his explanation. After Noah finished listing several data sheets and clearly explained the various problems in the company, he opened the next page of the PPT and simply and neatly said, "I suggest that the company implement group-based and standardized management for all artists. Each group should have a senior executive as the team leader who has absolute say over the artists in the group without the need for the approval of other senior executives. This can greatly improve work efficiency. The hundreds of artists in the company can be divided into 3 groups. A, B, and C. Each group will have a professional agent team. The 3 groups will compete fairly, and the year-end assessment will be based on the group. The management team of the outstanding group can get more bonuses and dividends. With such an incentive policy, there will be healthy competition among the groups. Besides focusing on first-line stars, the groups will also strengthen the cultivation of new artists. If any artist is treated unfairly, they can directly report to the team leader to avoid the agent having absolute power. Noah was talking eloquently on the stage, and the shareholders sitting there looked at each other in surprise. Is this really Noah? It feels like he's possessed by something powerful. He can calmly present his views to the shareholders sitting here without even looking at his notes once.
Noah simply and clearly explained the pros and cons of group management in 10 minutes.
Fade. Then turned off the PPT and calmly said, "I've finished. If you have any opinions or suggestions, please feel free to discuss."
The scene was quiet for a few seconds.
And then there were low-voiced discussions around the conference table. After a moment, Vice President Kui, sitting across the table, asked, "Mr. Noah, in this plan of yours, the team leader has the highest authority. Does it mean that a team leader can make investment decisions without the approval of the company's general meeting and can even ask the finance department to allocate funds directly?"
Noah nodded and said,
Yes, the team leader can directly make decisions on investment projects worth less than 10 million. And others don't need to interfere. Investment in large IPs worth more than 10 million will be decided through discussions among the company's senior executives. This approach is equivalent to decentralized governance. The team leader has the power over the artists in the group without being questioned by others. But he has set the standard of 10 million to prevent the team leader from abusing power and making random investments. In this way, it can not only improve the company's efficiency through group-based work, but also avoid the team leader having too much power, which may lead to losses for the company due to wrong investment decisions in large projects. See, in the entertainment industry, where the pay of stars can easily reach tens of millions, an investment of 10 million is not much. However, it's enough for shooting some modern dramas and online dramas that don't require big-name stars and special effects. The amount proposed by Noah is exactly a figure that everyone can accept. Lucas couldn't believe that the calm young man standing before him was his son. He stared in disbelief for several seconds before giving a slow nod and said, "Jiangshuan Entertainment is growing bigger all the time, with so many artists under its name that it's easy to forget their faces and names. Group management would definitely make nurturing talent easier and help uncover promising new talents more effectively." When President Pei spoke, Vice President Yang Mingwei immediately smiled warmly in agreement. The group leaders have significant authority. But investments under 10 million won't seriously affect the company's interests. I think this plan works quite well. Kuiju looked at Noah with a thoughtful expression and said, "I also support dividing the team into groups. But who should be in charge of each group?" "Noah, of course."
It will be the 3 senior executives.
President Kue and President Yang will be in charge of Group A and Group B, respectively,
And I'll be in charge of Group C.
The shareholders present finally understood Noah's fundamental purpose for today's meeting was to gain partial real power in the company.
He was only a nominal general manager without real power. Dividing the company into groups was the easiest way to get everyone's acceptance. Even if he made a bad investment, it wouldn't affect the other groups.
Having such a useless group leader would only make the whole group a laughingstock if their bonuses were deducted. Everyone suddenly understood. They all thought this was Grandfather Pei's idea,
And that the presentation had been prepared by Chairman Pei to assign teams so his son could gain some experience managing one. Only Lucas knew this wasn't his idea. It was his son's own decision. Lucas felt pleased inside, but he kept up the chairman's composed demeanor and said, "Let's vote by raising hands."
It was unanimously approved.
Noah opened the pre-made Excel spreadsheet in his computer, which listed the names of all the company's artists. He looked at Ju and Yang Mingwei and said, "Since everyone's here, let's take the chance to discuss how to form the groups." Mr. Yang, as senior colleagues, you two go first in picking the artists. I'm new here, so I can take fewer top-tier stars. I'm worried I might not be able to handle them. The other two were eager to do so. They pretended to be polite for a few words, but acted very quickly. They quickly selected all the first-tier and second-tier stars in the company, leaving only a few of the most difficult ones for Noah. Since the newly signed newcomers were unfamiliar to both of them, and they didn't want to seem too eager in front of everyone, they let Noah pick first. After all, the new talents from Tiangshuan had similar potential. What mattered most was how they'd be developed going forward. Noah selected a few new artists he thought had potential after reading their profiles, and casually marked a C behind Oliver's name. This was the key point. No one noticed that Noah had made so many preparations today. Actually, just for a new artist named Oliver among hundreds of names. He quietly assigned Oliver to his group. From then on, he would have the final say on all of Oliver's arrangements. He could invest in suitable projects for Oliver and help him get the best resources. No one else could interfere. At 2:30 p.m., the grouping announcement and the detailed list were sent to all employees' emails by the secretariat. There was nearly a major upheaval within Tiangshuan. In some private gossip groups of friends and girlfriends, people were discussing this major event, one after another. The agents assigned to Group C felt like they had been sentenced to death. My God. Noah is actually the supervisor of Group C.
Am I seeing things? I've already foreseen that our year-end bonuses will be completely deducted. Why? Does he suddenly want to manage a group himself? Can he handle it with his abilities? A new broom sweeps clean.
He's just making a mess. It's like setting fire to gasoline directly.
The agents in Group A and Group B gloated. Those assigned to Group C must be on the verge of tears.
Right. The performance is calculated by group. I think Group C is the group of death.
They definitely won't get any bonuses in the future.
There are many popular stars in the groups of General Manager Kui and General Manager Yang. So they definitely don't have to worry about resources.
Mister, Noah's Group C is so pitiful.
There are a bunch of unknowns. The people in the legal department all had long faces. Noah actually asked them to revise the contract templates for new artists. They were probably going to work overtime until they went bald. The agent department was also having a hard time.
All the agents in the company were being regrouped.
So the offices naturally had to be redistributed. For a moment, the agents were in a complete mess. Everyone was packing up their things and busy moving to new offices. Oliver knew nothing about all this. He was reading a book intently in the school dormitory, although he signed with Tiangshuan. He's still a film school student. And the company hasn't assigned him any tasks. He still needs to attend classes at school. And he can't afford to fail his final exams. Just then, his phone suddenly rang. The caller ID showed an unknown number. Oliver answered the call and heard a woman's voice clearly say, "Oliver, hello. This is Chen Lu, General Manager of Tangshuan Group's Agent Department. I'm contacting you regarding an important update. Due to internal restructuring, all artists will be reorganized into teams.
You've been assigned to Team C.
Please come to the Tiangshuan Legal Department by January to sign a supplementary agreement. Assigned to Group C. Sign a new agreement." Oliver's eyes lit up, mister. Noah hadn't kicked him out of the company, just assigned him to Group C. He didn't know what Group C was like, but as long as he was still with Tiangshuan and hadn't signed an exit agreement, there was still hope. Oliver took an excited breath and asked, "With the regrouping, will my agent still be Brother Zhao?" Chen Lu said. "Zhao Wengxiu has already left the company. The assignment of your new agent will depend on the team leader's notification, and it hasn't been finalized yet. Once it's confirmed, your new agent will reach out to you directly." Oliver nodded. "I understand. Thank you, Director Chen." After hanging up the phone, Oliver opened WeChat in confusion. I'd been so busy studying today that I didn't notice a voice message from Zhao Wengxiu on WeChat. Oliver put the phone to his ear and clicked play. The man's furious voice nearly overwhelmed Oliver. "Oliver, you really know how to pick your battles. Daring to report me to Mr. Noah and getting me kicked out of Tiangshuan. Just wait. I'll make sure you can't survive in the entertainment industry ever again." Make me unable to survive in the entertainment industry. Look at how full of yourself you are. Oliver raised his eyebrows and typed back without hesitation. You drugged my juice. I didn't scold you, but you scolded me first. Have you no shame? Using such despicable means, you deserve to be kicked out of the company. As for how I'll fare in the future, don't bother to worry about it. An agent like you will bring bad luck to anyone you represent. Olotson. Smile, smile, smile. After sending the message, Oliver quickly blocked Zhao Wenshu. The 3 consecutive smiling emojis at the end are extremely powerful. Make him mad. If Zhao Wengxiu tried to reply with anger, he'd see a message saying, The other person is not your friend. Please send a verification request. Oliver is in an extremely good mood. Yaoi Yoxiu secretly used an pheromone release agent to nearly get him marked by a strange alpha. And now Oliver feels disgusted just hearing that name. It would be perfect if Zhao Wenxiu never showed up at Tiangshuan again. From Zhao Wenxiu's desperate outburst, it seemed clear that Mr. Noah had expelled him from Tongshuan. Thinking Oliver had reported him to Mr. Noah, Zhao Wenxiu angrily berated him on WeChat. Recalling the calm way Noah said, "I'll look into this," Oliver suddenly realized that Mr.
Noah was actually a principled boss, dealing only with Zhao Wenxiu, while letting him stay showed he didn't want to involve innocent people.
It seems that he misunderstood him before. Oliver's favorability towards you has increased by 5. While Noah is busy in the office,
This message suddenly pops up in his mind.
is Oliver daydreaming again? He likely received a company notice about Zhao Wenxiu's departure and added a bit of goodwill toward Mr. Noah as a result. However, he probably doesn't know that Noah is the team leader of Group C yet. Noah's lips curl up slightly. Tell him after the exam. After all, the little guy has an active mind and always daydreams about strange things. What if he has wild thoughts and fails the final exam? Emma,
Who is busy moving offices,
keenly senses something different. Although the colleagues in Group C are all complaining, thinking that they won't have a good time with Mr. Noah and their bonuses will be deducted, Emma has a hunch that Noah is not as incompetent as the rumors say. The first time she saw Noah today, the calm look in the alpha's eyes when he spoke was very intimidating. His calmness and efficiency are not like those of a good-for-nothing. Emma finishes tidying up her desk and sits down to carefully read the information about Oliver that Mr. Noah gave her. At that moment, her phone buzzed with a friend request message reading, "I'm Mr. Noah's assistant, Zhang Fan." All the C-Team agents received this request. They exchanged glances and quickly accepted it. Then, Zhang Fan added all the C-Team agents into a WeChat group named T-Actuan C-Team. When everyone entered the group, they found that the group owner was Noah. Noah's previous profile picture was a selfie. He was wearing sunglasses and trying to look cool at the beach, even making a childish peace sign. Noah disliked that profile picture very much and made a simple one to replace it. What? The new profile picture only had the character pay on it. Everyone felt extremely complicated when they saw the profile picture with the character pay. Who? Someone took the lead to say hello, and the others quickly followed. After all, they still had to do a good job in maintaining appearances. After a round of hello, Mr. Noah spoke up. "Hello, everyone. I'm Noah, the supervisor of Group C. Thank you all for your hard work today. Welcome to Group C." The group fell silent for a few seconds. Obviously,
everyone was not very willing to join Group C.
Zhang Fan quickly led the way by sending a clap emoji.
and others followed along with insincere applause. Noah typed, "I know that everyone is not very happy about the sudden group-based management in the company.
But no matter how you gossip and discuss in private, this is an official work group. All chat records are prohibited from being screenshot and spread. You can't send them to any relatives or friends. Once I find out, you'll have to leave. Please abide by this rule and give each other the most basic trust. It was reasonable that the company's work group prohibited screenshot sharing and leaking information.
Everyone said they understood.
Noah then said, "There are a total of 7 agents,
12 full-time assistants, and 30 artists in Group C.
When dividing the groups, we tried our best to let the artists you previously managed come to Group C with you, which will make it more convenient to arrange work.
I've asked Assistant Jiang to compile a list of the specific artist assignments.
I'll send it to the group later. If you have any suggestions after reading it, you can directly report them to me.
You have 3 days to adjust the list.
After 3 days, it will be finalized.
The agents will uniformly inform the artists they manage.
Soup. No matter what announcements the artists have,
They must find time to come back to the company to sign the agreement before January Chinese letter, and come to my office for a face-to-face interview with me.
we weeple for it. After he finished speaking, he casually sent a red envelope. I hope to have a pleasant cooperation with all of you. Who? Said Mr. Noah was a good-for-nothing. Didn't he arrange things quite well? First, he compiled the list, set a 3-day limit for adjustment. After confirming the list, he gave the artists a month to come back to the company to sign the contract and have individual talks with him. This didn't seem like a child's play or a random mess at all. Instead,
It seemed like he was going to manage things seriously.
everyone rushed to grab the red envelope and sent emojis saying thank you, boss. Emma was lucky and grabbed the biggest red envelope. She also sent an emoji saying thank you, boss. After that, she boldly sent a friend verification to Noah. Unexpectedly, Mr. Noah approved it immediately. Emma didn't dare to talk casually, so she brought up work. Mr. Noah,
I've carefully read the information you gave me.
Oliver has a good image and is very smart. He is really worth cultivating. Noah replied, yes.
The 4 artists assigned to you are all newbies.
Take good care of them in the future. 4 new artists. Isn't Oliver special? Mr. Noah gave her Oliver's information separately. This morning, she thought Oliver had some special relationship with Mr. Noah. Now, it seems that it's also possible that Oliver's agent just left his job, and she didn't have any artists in her hand, so Mr. Noah just casually assigned Oliver to her. Emma really couldn't figure out the boss's attitude, so she replied, I understand, Mr. Noah. I'll work hard. Noah didn't say it directly.
The reason why he chose her to manage Oliver was not because she was very capable,
but because she was just suitable. The company's information shows that she has managed several stars. Although they are not very famous, the stars all have good comments on her.
this beta woman is efficient in handling affairs,
Has a straightforward personality, and most importantly, she is partial to those under her care.
she very much protects the artists she manages. She even had a falling out with a reporter for an artist. Once,
Noah doesn't need Oliver's agent to be very powerful or domineering,
because there is him behind Oliver,
and he can provide the resources.
he only hopes that when he is not by Oliver's side, the agent can take good care of and protect Oliver. Never let something like what Zhao Wenxiu did to Oliver happen again. That's all I ask. In the following week, Oliver concentrated on preparing for the exams.
He has always had good grades since childhood.
When he took the art exam, he entered the acting department with the highest score in the whole school. He is a gifted student in terms of study.
His classmates don't know that he has signed a contract with an entertainment company.
After all, he has just signed the contract, and it's not appropriate to make a big deal out of it. Only his parents know about this. After finishing his exams, Oliver returned home to find his mother, Zhang Qiang, had already prepared a bountiful meal.
Zhang Qiang was a former dancer who,
though in her 40s, looked like she was just past 30, gentle and beautiful, with an elegant presence. However, she had injured her back while dancing in her youth, which left her health compromised, so she had retired early from the dance troupe to focus on resting at home. His father, Cheng Yiming, is a very traditional movie actor. Although he is not very well known, Oliver's dream of becoming an actor was influenced by his father. He grew up watching his father's movies. He thought it was very interesting that his father could transform into different characters in movies, and so he also wanted to act and portray different roles.
Zhang Qiang invited Oliver to sit down at the dining table and gently asked,
Oliver, how did you do on your exam?
Oliver smiled brightly and said,
Mom, don't worry. I reviewed well this time and performed quite well. Even if I can't get the first place in the grade, I'm definitely going to get the scholarship.
Zhang Qiang smiled as she scooped a piece of spare rib onto Oliver's plate.
Just as Oliver was about to take a bite, Cheng Yiming suddenly asked coldly, Where did you get that down jacket you wore back? The CM size isn't even yours. Oliver's fingers trembled, and the spare rib he picked up immediately fell onto the table. Oh no! The down jacket, mister. Noah gave him got wet in the heavy snow when he wore it home that day, so he hung it on the balcony to dry. The next day, he was in a hurry to go back to school and forgot to take it in. His parents must have seen it. A size 190 clearly indicates that it belongs to a tall alpha. How can I explain this? I can't just say that I was framed and ended up in the boss's bed, and the boss gave me a piece of clothing when sending me home, right? If my father knows the truth, he'll break my legs, won't he?
Seeing Oliver in a daze,
Cheng Yiming immediately asked warily, How did you come back wearing an alpha's clothes? Oliver, tell me honestly. Are you in a relationship with an alpha?
Oliver quickly shook his head and said,
No, no. Please don't jump to conclusions. Just then, a friend verification message suddenly popped up on WeChat. The verification message read, Noah. Why does Mr. Noah want to add him as a friend?
Oliver approved the verification.
On a whim, He explained to his father, "The clothes belong to a senior named Pei."
I went back to school after the company's annual meeting.
There was a club activity at school the next day. I only wore a sweater when I went out. But then it started snowing heavily. It was so cold that I kept sneezing. So the senior lent me his down jacket. Oliver paused and added, "Senior Pei has a very affectionate Omega girlfriend. I also know that senior's sister.
They only see me as a younger brother.
There's really nothing else." Cheng Yiming looked skeptical and asked, "Really?" Oliver looked sincere and said, "How dare I lie to you?"
Cheng Yiming said seriously.
"Now, call this senior and thank him for lending you the down jacket. Return it to him another day." "Is it really necessary to do this? What about the basic trust between father and son?"
Cheng Yiming's gaze was stern.
As if saying, "You've been a drama queen since childhood. I'd be a fool to believe you." Oliver looked at his mother for help.
Jiang Qiang continued eating her ribs without looking up.
Wearing a calm expression that clearly said, "This has nothing to do with me." Under his father's serious gaze, Oliver had no choice but to bravely send a voice message to Noah. "Noah, thank you for lending me the down jacket that day. I've washed and dried it. I'll return it to you when I go back to school another day." After sending it, he quickly pressed the recall button so that Mr. Noah wouldn't hear it.
Noah's reaction speed was extraordinary.
He clicked to answer the message. The moment he received it, a clear, calm voice echoed in his ear, "Noah?" Hearing him call me like this, it's actually quite pleasant to the ear. It seems that the down jacket given to Oliver has caused a misunderstanding.
Oliver was probably suspected by his parents.
So he made up this excuse on the spot. Noah cooperated with him and whispered back, "You're welcome. Bring the clothes back to school and return them to me when you're free. I'm not in a hurry to wear them."
Seeing a voice message pop up on WeChat,
Oliver's face turned pale with fright.
"Oh no, mister." Noah sent a voice message.
If his father asks him to play it on speaker,
wouldn't his lie be exposed immediately? Cheng Yiming had an expression of, "Come on, play it if you dare." Oliver had no choice but to brace himself and press the play button. To his surprise, Noah actually helped him cover up the lie. Hearing the deep male voice from the phone, Cheng Yiming finally believed his son's explanation and told him, "Oliver, the entertainment industry is a big dying vat. For an Omega to become famous in the circle, there are shortcuts. But you mustn't be deceived by those sweet words. And don't sell yourself out just to become popular. That would make people look down on you. Do you understand?"
His father was just concerned about him and afraid that he would be taken advantage of.
Oliver immediately promised, "Don't worry. I'm not that kind of person. I just want to act seriously. Whether I become popular or not isn't that important. If it really comes to the point where I have to sell myself to get resources, then I'd rather stop acting. With my grades, it won't be difficult for me to find another job."
Cheng Yiming's expression finally softened.
It's best that you think this way, remember? Even if you can't get any acting jobs, your mother and I can still support you. Jiang Qiang finally spoke up. All right. Oliver is an adult now. You don't need to keep lecturing him like this every day. Oliver immediately chimed in. Right. I know where to draw the line. Cheng Yiming nodded and didn't say anything more. The whole family started to have dinner happily.
Oliver pretended to be innocent on the surface,
But in fact, he was extremely guilty. Fortunately, Mr. Noah didn't mark him that night. Otherwise, he really wouldn't be able to hold his head up in front of his father. Thinking about it, Mr. Noah is actually a very good person. When his pheromones were out of control, he didn't take advantage of him. Instead,
He calmly gave him an inhibitor to preserve his dignity.
he personally sent him home, worried that he would catch a cold, and gave him his down jacket. Then he simply and neatly dealt with the agent without venting his anger on him. All those things said by the outside world about him being a playboy, going to bars and drinking, and being idle, they must all be rumors. Oliver's approval rating went up. A sudden thought flashed through his mind, causing Noah, midway through handling work, to set down what he was doing. He opened the system and saw Oliver's favorability towards him had already risen to 30.
The young man's ability to automatically increase his affection just from imagining things is absolutely endearing.
I really don't mind if you increase it a bit more. After having dinner with his parents, Oliver returned to his bedroom and closed the door. Then he quickly typed a message and sent it to Noah. Mr. Noah, I'm sorry. Just now, my father asked me about the origin of that down jacket. So I pretended to have borrowed it from a senior. My father has a heart disease, and I don't want to tell him what happened that night. Please don't be angry! Cheng Yiming is an upright person. In the original work,
He was so angry about the netizens' insults and Oliver's nude photos that he died of a heart attack.
as a result, Oliver was completely blackened. It can be seen that the father and son have a very good relationship. It's understandable that Oliver made up an excuse because he was worried about his father. Noah, of course, wouldn't be angry. He typed back, "It doesn't matter. Have you finished your exams?" "Yes. I just finished yesterday. If you have time tomorrow, come back to the company to sign the agreement. Your new agent is Emma."
she is a very easygoing beta woman.
After sending this message, Noah continued, "Also, I'm the team leader of Group C. After signing the agreement, come to my office with your agent. Let's have a good talk about your future development direction. How many points will the favorability be deducted this time? Will Oliver be shocked when he hears that I'm the team leader?" Noah waited for a while. There was no prompt for the deduction of favorability in his mind. Instead, he got Oliver's reply. "Got it. Thank you, Mr. Noah." No deduction.
Noah frowned and asked in his mind, "System,
How is the favorability calculated?" The dormant system 1022 was woken up and yawned, saying, "Positive emotions such as trust, gratitude, and admiration towards you will increase the favorability value. Negative emotions such as fear, suspicion, jealousy, and hatred will deduct the value."
Will negative emotions such as suspicion and fear also deduct the data?
No wonder Oliver's favorability rating kept fluctuating before.
Noah finally understood the reason, that is to say,
For someone like Oliver with a rich imagination, it's better to make things clear as much as possible. Noah picked up his phone and calmly sent Oliver a message. The artist group assignment was decided by the company's management team. Being placed in Group C doesn't mean anything negative toward you. I've already figured out that what happened that night was Zhao Wengxisu trick. Nothing to do with you. Don't worry about it. And just focus on working hard with your new manager going forward. After seeing this message, Oliver finally put his mind at ease. After being worried for several days, he excitedly hugged his phone and rolled on the bed. Then he quickly typed a reply. "Thank you, Mr. Noah. I will definitely work hardy!" 2 exclamation marks. Then, another message popped up in Noah's mind. Oliver's favorability towards you. +10, sure enough.
it's better to make things clear instead of letting him make wild guesses.
Noah put down his phone happily and dialed an internal line to the director of the copyright department on the landline on the table. "Director Zhu, please send the materials. I need to my office as soon as possible." A moment later, Director Zhu, wearing glasses, knocked on the office door with a large stack of folders in his arms. He walked up to Noah and said seriously, "Mr. Noah, I asked my colleagues in the copyright group to work overtime to summarize the synopses and character sketches of all the novels whose copyrights are still owned by the company. Here are the sorted materials. Please have a look." Noah motioned him to put the materials on the table and looked up at him, saying, "Very good. Thank you for your hard work. I'll read them carefully and select a suitable script. I'll contact you again before starting the project. Okay, Mr. Noah, you're busy first." Director Zhu turned around and left the office. The Tiangshuan Group's copyright department purchases rights to novels suitable for film and television adaptation each year, acquiring them regardless of whether they'll be produced. They keep the rights on hand so that if a particular theme suddenly becomes popular, they can quickly move forward with production and make significant profits. To launch a new talent, the easiest way is to pick a suitable book from the company's already acquired copyrights and invest in filming it directly. First, since the rights belong to Tiangshuan, whoever plays the lead role is decided by Tiangshuan. Second, Oliver is currently an artist under Group C, so Noah can decide how much to invest or who to hire as director without going through lengthy meetings. He can make the call himself. Director Zhu is very efficient and also very considerate. He made a catalog and sorted all the documents for the boss's convenience. Noah praised him in his heart and started to look through the materials according to the catalog numbers. Norlis. Oliver had just turned 20, still carrying a fresh, youthful vibe. Such a newcomer was clearly perfect for the lead role in a light-hearted school drama. Among the novels provided by the copyright department, several were set in schools. Noah quickly reviewed the plot summaries, eliminating those that didn't match Oliver's image or featured overly dramatic, tear-filled romance storylines, and ultimately chose one school-themed novel. Oliver's acting skills are still a bit raw, and he can't handle overly complex roles. It's safer to start with a simple script.
This campus novel doesn't have those heart-wrenching and sad love stories.
Overall, it has a light-hearted and funny odd couple style. Most importantly, the sunny and cheerful character of the protagonist in the novel matches Oliver's persona very well. As long as the filming is good, Oliver will definitely become a little famous. Noah put the folder aside separately. After looking through so many materials, he had a bit of a headache, so he closed his eyes and leaned back in his chair to rest for a moment. When Zhang Fan came in with a cup of coffee, Mr.
Noah was resting with his eyes closed.
Mr.
Noah has been working late at the office these past few days, something Zhang Fan never would have believed possible before.
Back then, Noah often spent entire nights at flashy clubs with a few friends, staying up until morning and sleeping through the afternoon, with his schedule completely upside down. Whenever company matters came up,
He'd always look visibly annoyed.
now this Noah, it's like he has become a different person. Not just Zhang Fan. Many employees at the company, especially those in Group C, shared this impression. Mr.
Noah is strict but straightforward when working.
He doesn't talk nonsense and arranges things in an orderly manner. With so many agents being regrouped, he managed to sort out the situation within the group clearly in just 1 week. What kind of stimulation did he receive?
Zhang Fan was still puzzled when Noah suddenly opened his eyes.
The man's gaze was cold and deep, and in it,
Zhang Fan saw a tiny reflection of himself, such a sensation that it felt as if the other person had instantly seen through him.
Zhang Fan felt a chill run down his spine and quickly handed over the coffee, saying, Mr. Noah, your coffee. Noah picked up the coffee, took a couple of sips casually, put the cup back on the table, and asked in a low voice as if casually, Do you think I've changed a lot recently? Feeling exposed, Zhang Fan's heart tightened. He forced a faint smile and replied carefully, You really have changed a lot lately. I remember you used to come to the office, rarely, and weren't very interested in Tiangshuan matters before, Noah said calmly. My father was diagnosed with early-stage stomach cancer last year. Though surgery saved his life, his health has declined significantly. As the eldest son of the Pei family, I should take responsibility now. This was the most appropriate reason Noah found for his transformation,
Which also saved the company's people from speculating all day long.
Woo. Of course. That's exactly how he saw it. His father was still unwell. And as the eldest son of the Pei family, letting the hard-earned legacy fall into someone else's hands while doing nothing would be unacceptable. He wouldn't let such a thing happen. Zhang Fan listened to his calm voice and nodded with mixed feelings, saying, Mr. Noah,
It's really great that you see things this way.
with how quickly you've handled matters for Team C, the chairman will surely be pleased.
Zhang Fan's favorability plus.
Noah looked at Zhang Fan, his tone growing gentler. Zhao Zhang, you've worked hard these past few days. Tomorrow, A new member named Oliver will be joining Team C to sign documents. Go check with legal and have them explain the contract details to him. After signing, bring him to my office.
Zhang Fan immediately nodded.
Understood, Mr. Noah. I'll take care of it right away. After Zhang Fan left, Noah opened the system menu in his mind once more. Oliver's favorability has changed to 40, and his agent has been replaced with Emma. Zhang Fan's approval rating rose from an initial 2. Samuel's dropped from 2, and Zhao Wenxiu's approval rating decreased by. In addition, the list now included Emma, Kuiju, Yang Mingwei,
Zhu Jianan, Zuk Zin,
and others. Everyone he had interacted with in recent days, except for his parents, appeared on the list. Deputy Manager Kui's favorability towards him is 0, and Deputy Manager Yang's is 50. Neither of them has reached the passing mark. Jujan and Zviksin, 2 mid-level managers, had their rapport score at despite being pushed to work late on copyright documents and revising contracts. This showed they were dedicated to their duties and kept personal feelings out of professional matters. Noah looked at the list, lost in thought. Favorability will affect how the supporting characters treat him. People with high favorability are more likely to listen to him and work more diligently when necessary. He needs to increase the favorability of some supporting characters to help Oliver. After all, he can't make Oliver famous all by himself. At the same time, inside the residential building of Qingtang Community, Oliver was rummaging through the closet, making so much noise that it caught his mother Jiang Qiang's attention. Jiang Qiang knocked on the door and looked toward the closet with a puzzled expression. And what are you searching for? I thought there was a mouse in the house. Oliver crouched beside the closet, his voice a bit anxious. Mom, where is my camel-colored cashmere sweater? I can't find it. Are you talking about the one you bought last month? Jiang Qiang walked into the bedroom, opened the storage shelf above the wardrobe. I put it here. If you need to wear it, I can iron it for you. Great. I'll wear it tomorrow.
Are you going out tomorrow? Jiang Qiang asked softly. As she took the sweater down,
Oliver explained excitedly. I'm going to the company to sign a supplementary agreement tomorrow. And I have to meet the boss. I have to make a good impression on the boss. Right. It's winter now. Wearing a simple cashmere sweater shouldn't be a mistake. What do you think, Mom? Jiang Qiang nodded. Let me pick out a pair of pants for you. She reached into the closet and pulled out a pair of black jeans, then held up the camel-colored sweater against Oliver's body. Perfect. This look really suits you. Just as Oliver was about to speak, his phone suddenly rang. He answered the phone, and a strange female voice came from the other end. Hello. Is this Oliver? Yes. Oliver asked politely. Who are you? I'm your agent, Emma. You can call me Emma. Emma's tone was quite gentle. I'm really sorry. There has been an internal adjustment in the company these days, and the agent department has been doing work handovers. It was finally decided today, Mr.
Noah has arranged for me to represent you.
From now on, you can come to me any time if you have any questions. Compared to Zhao Wenxiu's aloof attitude, Oliver greatly appreciated Emma's gentle tone and an efficient way of speaking. He politely said, "Hello, Emma. May I ask? If I come to the company tomorrow to sign the agreement, should I go straight to the legal department? Call me when you arrive tomorrow. I'll come downstairs to pick you up." Emma paused for a moment and then said, "If you're not satisfied with the contract, you can also tell me. I'll help you negotiate with the legal department. There are some flexible clauses in the new version of the contract that can be modified." The last time he signed a contract, Zhao Wenxiu took him there. Seeing him carefully going through each page, Zhao Wenxiu looked impatient and said, "You're just a newcomer. Company contracts for new hires are all standard templates. What's the point of reading them? Just sign it already, now?" Emma's words made Oliver's heart warm slightly. "Changing to a new agent is really much better," Oliver said seriously. "Thank you, Emma. I'll come to the company to see you tomorrow morning."
Is it convenient to add you on WeChat?
Emma said. "Of course. I'll add you. Remember to bring your ID card. See you tomorrow." The next day, Oliver set an alarm for 7 o'clock in the early morning. He got up, quickly washed up and had breakfast, and carefully tidied his clothes in front of the mirror. The jeans his mother picked for him fit him very well. He paired them with a camel-colored cashmere sweater and put on a white down jacket. Although such an outfit was not particularly eye-catching in the cold winter, it would never go wrong. Oliver had finished getting dressed when Zhang Qiang brought over a scarf and handed it to him.
"C'est pretty tough."
"It's been getting colder lately. Wear this scarf. Oh, and traffic during rush hour is really tough to navigate." She turned toward the kitchen and called out, "Old Cheng, how about you drive your son there?" Cheng Yiming poked his head out. "Okay. Anyway, I'm free." Oliver was putting on the scarf and said, "Mom, I made an appointment with my agent at 8:30. There's still more than an hour. You don't need to send me." Cheng Yiming wiped his hands and came out of the kitchen. He sized up his son and said seriously, "You're just a nobody now, and you don't have a nanny car. Dad will be your driver today. Let's go. Go there earlier and don't be late." Oliver had no choice but to obediently follow him out. Bending down to put on his shoes, Zhang Qiang suddenly asked, "By the way, Oliver, I've taken care of your down jacket. When are you planning to return it to your senior?" Oliver's heart skipped a beat. The down jacket belonged to Mr. Noah. He would see Mr. Noah today, but he couldn't return the clothes to the boss in front of so many people in the company. People would surely gossip if they saw it. He had to return the down jacket privately. If it was really inconvenient, he could ask Mr.
Noah for an address and send it by express.
Thinking of this, Oliver said, "Mom, please help me keep it first. I'll ask my senior when he wants it back."
Jiang Trang Xiang's gaze swept over the distinctive logo on the down jacket's collar.
This brand was a top-tier international designer label, highly valuable. While it wasn't uncommon to see wealthy students at the film academy,
She couldn't help but wonder
Was it really just out of brotherly care that Oliver had been given such an expensive coat so casually?
Jiang Qiang felt something was off.
But she didn't confront her son. She quietly put the down jacket away. Cheng Yiming drove his son toward Tengshuan Tower.
The road was slippery due to the snow,
So he drove slowly. When they arrived at the company, it was already past 8. Oliver got out of the car and waved goodbye to his father. Just then, a black car drove over. Oliver was with his back to the road and didn't notice that it was Mr. Noah's car. Noah immediately noticed the young man standing in the snow. The young man was wearing a white down jacket with black jeans.
His face filled with smiles as he waved at the driver inside an SUV.
The window rolled down, and a voice said, "If you've had a tough time at work, make sure to tell Dad when you get home." Oliver smiled and said, "Got it, Dad. You go back. Drive slowly on the way." Noah saw the side profile of the driver through the rolled-down window. The middle-aged man had strong facial features, thick eyebrows and big eyes, looking very serious. Was this Oliver's father, Cheng Yiming? In the original story, Cheng Yiming was so angry that he died. He loved Oliver very much, his son, whom he had painstakingly raised, was mistreated and humiliated. Nude photos were spread all over the internet, and the scolding letters from netizens were even sent to their home.
Self-blame, guilt.
And pain made this honest father seriously ill, and also caused Oliver to completely turn dark out of grief. Seeing Oliver bid farewell to his father, with a bright smile, Noah felt even more determined to protect this young man. Not only Oliver, but also Oliver's family. He didn't want Oliver's father to die in guilt, nor would he let Oliver's mother die of illness in despair. Since he knew the plot of the original story, he would make early arrangements to prevent all the bad things from happening. Noah withdrew his gaze without disturbing Oliver's farewell to his father, and drove around from the side. At the same time, Emma received a message from Oliver and went downstairs to pick him up in person. Seeing the young man waiting at the company entrance,
Emma was momentarily stunned. She had seen many photos of Oliver in the materials Mr.
Noah had given her before, but this was the first time she'd seen him in person. And she thought he looked even better than his pictures. The entertainment world wasn't short on handsome men or beautiful women, but Oliver felt different. His looks weren't aggressive, nor did they carry that distant, unapproachable aura. He was bright and cheerful in a way that felt genuine, especially when he smiled. His expression pure and radiant, capable of melting away any inner reserve, like a little sun that made people feel warm and at ease. First impressions are really important. The moment she saw Oliver, she thought this boy will be popular. No wonder the company's talent scout signed Oliver. Apparently, he was attracted by Oliver's outstanding appearance. Oliver was also sizing up the person in front of him. She was nearly 1.7 meters tall, slender, with very fair skin, and had short ear-length hair. She was wearing a knee-length black overcoat and high-heeled leather boots. When she walked, the hem of the overcoat fluttered in the wind. She looked valiant and heroic,
And at first glance, she was the kind of woman who was very efficient in handling affairs. Seeing the woman sizing him up, Oliver tentatively asked, "Emma?"
Emma immediately showed a smile on her face.
"Hello, Oliver. I'm very glad to be your agent." She reached out her hand actively, and Oliver also politely shook hands with her. "Please take good care of me in the future, Emma. Let's look out for each other. Great to work together." Emma let go of his hand, said no more, and led him into the Tiangshuan building. The legal department is on the TH floor.
I've already arranged everything there. We'll go check the contract first.
Oliver followed behind her and took the elevator to the Chinese letter floor legal department.
Wordly be.
Zhang Fan was waiting by the office door and stepped forward when he saw them. "Emma, is this Oliver, Mr. Noah asked me to meet you both. After signing the contract, we'll go find him in his office." Emma politely said, "Assistant Zhang, you've worked hard."
Oliver was led into the office.
The company had the heating on, and he felt warm enough to take off his down jacket. Emma gently took the coat from him. Oliver smiled at his agent's sister, and she smiled back, saying,
Take your time reading the contract. Ask me if you have any questions.
The people in the legal department quickly brought over the printed contract. Oliver sat in the rest area and carefully flipped through the pages, one by one. Emma didn't urge him. After looking for a moment, he suddenly pointed to one of the pages. "Emma, I don't quite understand the profit sharing here." Emma looked in the direction of his finger and carefully explained, "This is the contract revised by the legal department as Mr. Noah asked. The profit sharing is calculated according to different projects. For film and TV drama remuneration, the artist gets 60%, and the company gets 40%. Although the company helps you contact film and TV dramas, the shooting process is very hard, so you get the larger share. For other projects like commercial performances, advertisements, and print magazine promotions, etc., the company contributes more, so the company gets 60%, and you get 40%. When your fame rises in the future, the profit-sharing ratio can also be increased in stages. The new contract doesn't lock in the revenue split permanently. Instead,
It requires signing a supplementary agreement every year to adjust the terms.
for newcomers, the standard split is % for film and TV projects and % for other activities like live performances, advertisements, and magazine shoots. As an artist becomes more popular and well-known, their share naturally increases over time. If someone isn't satisfied with their current arrangement, they can renegotiate after 1 year. This way,
Established stars are less likely to leave due to perceived unfair treatment.
while new talents feel a stronger sense of belonging to Tiangshuan. The new version contract revised by Mr. Noah by the legal department is very flexible and user-friendly.
It's much better than the previous contracts that were signed for 8 or 10 years and had a fixed profit-sharing ratio.
Oliver carefully read through the contract and said, "I have no objections." Emma confirmed, "There's no problem with the signing period starting from 5 years, right?
Oliver shook his head and said,
No. It always takes time to cultivate an artist, and a 5-year cycle isn't long.
Emma smiled and said,
If there's no problem, then sign it. After signing, make a copy of your ID card. Then we'll take the contract to Mr. Noah for his signature. He's your top-level supervisor now. Emma led Oliver and Zhang Fan straight to the top floor via the VIP elevator.
Zhang Fan gave a light knock on the door, and a man's deep voice echoed from inside. Come in.
Oliver took a deep breath and followed his agent into the office. Noah was looking at some materials in front of his desk. After hearing the footsteps, he looked up. Oliver's gaze unexpectedly met a pair of familiar eyes. The two looked at each other from a distance, and Oliver couldn't help but be stunned. The alpha sitting in the office was wearing a very formal dark gray suit. The buttons of his white shirt were buttoned up all the way to the top,
And he was wearing a standard Windsor knot tie.
his bangs were combed up, revealing his smooth forehead and a pair of good-looking sword-shaped eyebrows. The alpha was already handsome in appearance. This hairstyle made the lines of his whole face look even more sharp and tough. He lost a bit of the air of a dissolute playboy and gained a bit of steadiness and maturity. Coupled with the suit and tie, the alpha in front exuded an air of inviolable abstinence. Compared with the first meeting, Noah sitting in the office today has such a strong aura that Oliver doesn't dare to approach him for a moment. Emma introduced actively, Mr. Noah. I've brought Oliver here. She looked back at Oliver. This is Mr. Noah. Then she signaled Oliver to say hello with her eyes.
Oliver and Noah had already met before,
And it was a very bad and can counter under the situation of being naked in front of each other and the pheromones getting out of control. Remembering the scene that night, Oliver felt a bit guilty, but still stepped forward bravely and asked obediently, Hello, Mr. Noah. Seeing the young man tense up, as if called on by a teacher, Noah's lips curved slightly, his voice unusually gentle. Don't worry. Come over and sit down. Oliver had no choice but to walk over and sit on the sofa. Emma handed the contract to Mr. Noah casually. Oliver's contract has been signed. Noah took it and glanced at the signature on the last page. Oliver's signature was written stroke by stroke, round and quite neat and lovely. Noah asked in a low voice, Do you have any questions about the contract terms? The man's gaze fell on him. Oliver realized that he was being asked, and quickly said, No problem. Emma has explained everything to me in detail. That's good, Noah said,
Picking up his pen and swiftly signing several contracts before handing them to Zhang Fan.
Go to legal to get the official seal stamped. Keep 2 copies for company records, 1 for your manager, and leave 1 for Oliver. Zhang Fan quickly set off to take care of the task. Noah turned to Oliver and asked, Changshuan has many paths for developing its artists. Music, variety shows, film, and television. What are your thoughts about your future? Mentioning the serious matter, Oliver immediately became serious and said without hesitation, I want to be an actor. Noah asked, Why? Oliver answered very seriously, Don't laugh at me, Mr. Noah.
Being an actor has been my dream since childhood.
My father is an actor. I grew up watching his movies. I also want to play different roles like him. Of course. I've only studied at the Film Academy for 1 year.
So my acting skills must be quite rusty.
But as long as the company gives me a chance, I will definitely work hard and practice well. When it came to acting,
The young man's eyes lit up instantly.
he really loves this industry. Noah nodded and handed the neatly organized folder to Emma. This is a highly popular campus novel. Qingshuan has already secured the rights, but hasn't had the chance to adapt it into a production yet. Go back and have the new team go through the materials carefully. Once I've made my arrangements, I'll bring them in for auditions. Does the boss mean to initiate the project of shooting a campus drama? Did she understand correctly? Yep. Emma was extremely excited,
But years of work experience still made her quickly calm down.
She stepped forward and respectfully took the folder.
asking Mr. Noah, do all the newbies in our group have a chance for this campus drama? Well, for the drama I personally invested in, it's best to have the artists in our group act in it. Unless they perform too poorly.
I'll only consider selecting people from outside.
Noah looked at Oliver and calmly said, Oliver, you also go back and make some preparations. Oliver immediately stood up and said, I will. Thank you, Mr. Noah. The company is going to invest in shooting a campus drama. With such a good opportunity right in front of him, he will definitely study hard when he gets back and strive to get an important role.